Hey everybody, welcome back to the Armed Scotsman. Today on the table we have a Palmetto State Armory billet sabre. Let's get this one going. Alright everybody, as I said, this is Palmetto State Armory's billet sabre. I have gone over a forged sabre before a few months ago, so go back and check that out if you wish. I decided to get one of these in because it does have some slightly different features than the forged sabre, so we have this one to go over with you today. So if you don't know anything about these came out, depending on when you watch this video, the sabre line came out a few months ago. It's PSA's kind of premium line. It's basically an AR-15 ready right out of the box. There's tons of upgrades that they've already put on straight from the factory, so you don't have to worry about it. Essentially what they wanted was somebody to pick out the rifle, put an optic on it, and it's good to go. So that's what we've got. All right, so let's go over it. Let's start at the back here. We do have a fixed buttstock, as you can see. It's kind of that old school reminiscence, right? It's got a little storage compartment in the back right here. And then you have a original kind of sling attachment right here. The nice thing is this can actually move from side to side, depends on how you like to run your sling, so that's pretty cool. I do like that. Below this fixed buffer tube is we actually have a rifle length buffer tube in here instead of a carbine length. So we have a rifle buffer tube and a rifle buffer with a JP green buffer spring in here. So the nice thing, people are gonna be asking you, what's the difference between a carbine length and a rifle length? What's kind of the big differences? Well, the rifle length actually should smooth out the gun even more than a carbine length. So there is pros to having this particular setup back here for sure. You may like or dislike the Fitz buttstock. It really depends on your preference. I think it's kind of cool. I kind of like the old school look. Moving along, another upgrade right out of the box. It comes with, lock that back, comes with a Radian ambidextrous charging handle. I think this is the LT, if I remember correctly. Yep, the Radian LT charging handle. Completely ambidextrous, fantastic charging handles. I really like these. Very, very nice upgrade. Now when I buy an AR-15, if it comes with a non-ambi charging handle, I will, right at the start, always upgrade that to an ambi charging handle, either the Geisley supercharging handles or a Radian. Both are top tier, excellent charging handles. So very nice addition on there. Now, coming to the upper and lower receiver, as I said, it's billet, it is not forged, so it's not going to be your 7075 T6 aluminum. This is a billet upper and receiver. Now, when they use billet, they can do a little bit more texturing and details to the upper and lower, and that's why you can see in here, it's kind of got these cutout pieces, almost looks like cutout pieces. That's because it's done with billet, as I said, and not forged. So, stay that aside, we've got a fancy, I think it's a Timber Creek dust cover right here. You have your brass deflector, your forward assist, all normal. One of the other things I liked about the particular billet was they had this extra ambling feature, which is your bolt release, which I just showed you right there. So it does have some nice texturing on there. It's very easy to manipulate, get your hand on there. The one thing I wish it did, which it doesn't, is you can't lock it back with that, which is kind of typical. There's only a few higher priced ambi lowers that will actually lock back like so. So you still have to lock it back on this side, but you can release the bolt, which I'm not going to slam that forward again, but you can release it with that button right there. You do have your mag release, and again, it's got some really nice texturing on there, really grippy. It's kind of got a curve, so it's a nice kind of upgrade from your kind of standard mil-spec mag release. On the other side, you'll see that, well, I should have gone over the safety on the other side too, but we do have an ambi safety, and these are Radian Talon safeties. I personally love ambi safeties. I think they just make sense for me. The one on the right is a little shorter. Obviously you don't want it sitting too low, because obviously it would, you don't want it interfering with your index finger when you're on fire, and obviously it's longer on the left hand side. You do have your bolt catch and release right here, and then you have your ambient mag release right here also. Now, another thing to take note is you'll see they've got these anti-walk pins right here for the trigger. So speaking of the trigger, we do have a Hyperfire trigger in here. It's the Hyperfire RBT with reduced power springs from JP. So let's go over the trigger. You've got just a little bit of take up, then you got the brake. It is a single stage trigger, very nice clean brake, and then the reset, just a little bit of let out, and tactile and positive brake. The trigger is light. It's going to be around about, I would say, 3 or 4 pound trigger weight. It's got a short reset on there, so you can definitely get up and running really fast with that trigger, no problem whatsoever. Now, with the billet also, with this receiver, it's actually all one piece, as you'll see right here. So this is an enhanced trigger guard, so you can't change this out because it is part of the process here. So, but I do like enhanced trigger guard, so I'm a fan of that. It does have a slightly flared mag well as well. And then we have PSA SABRE grip on the bottom. It's got some texturing all the way around. Nice kind of undercut right here. It has a little hole in the bottom. There's no storage compartment, which is always kind of nice. I like to store batteries in my grips and things like that, but this one is hollowed out. Before we move on up, let's check out the wiggle test. Basically what this is, just to see if there's any play between the upper and the lower receiver. It does not affect the gun in any kind of way. It's just something I like to do because it kind of annoys me. But it's not it really does not affect the gun in any kind of way. There's a tiny little bit of play in there, not much at all. Now moving up to where the handguard joins the upper receiver. And I'll roll some images of this, close-up images, but it does have anti-rotation tabs on either side at the top here of the handguard, and essentially once you slide that on and it goes into the upper receiver, it will stop. It won't allow the handguard to rotate. So if you have anything up here, lights, lasers, anything that requires aiming devices, whatever it may be, if that handguard rotates, obviously it's going to put your point of aim off, but those anti-rotation tabs stop that from rotating, which is nice. I can't remember if I told you, it does have T markings up here as well. It's not on every one, it's on every 3, so it's like T21, T24, T27, so you do have some T markings on this 1913 pick rail also. Now, moving to the handguard, we have a quad rail handguard on here. It does come in 2 pieces. It's attached with screws here on the other side, and at the top here you would just take them off and you could take it off. And as I said, it is a 2-piece quad rail handguard. So for quad rails, I think people tend to either love or hate them. I personally don't mind them either way. It gives you so much room on here to attach absolutely anything you want. So you got tons of room to put on whatever you want. I mean, you've got 1913 pick rail the whole way along here underneath, on the sides, on the top, and a little piece up here. Again, you got it on the, so I mean, there's oodles of room to put on whatever you want. So very nice. In between those kind of 1913 pick rails, you'll notice we do have some aggressive cutouts on the handguard. I think that's to help lighten up and let some of that heat disperse also. So overall, it's a nice handguard. It seems to lock up really well. No complaints for me. At the front here, you have a fixed sight, a post sight. Now again, I think this for people, some people are going to love this kind of old school look and some people might not. I prefer not to have the A post there. I'm not going to lie, that's just my preference, but you may like to have the A front post right there. But it is right there. It does not come with a rear backup sight like a Magpul or anything like that. So you'd have to put on a rear sight if you wanted to use irons, but it does come with this one at the front. Now, below this handguard, it's a mid-length gas system, probably my favorite gas system out there for this length of barrel. I prefer over the carbine. So mid-length gas system. The barrel is 13.7, either 13.5 or 13.7 inches. It has a fixed pinned and welded flash hider, taking this to a minimum of 16 inches, which therefore it is no longer an NFA item. It counts as a standard 16-inch gun, 16-inch barrel, so it is not an NFA item because it is pinned and welded on the end here. This is a JMAC flash device with a chemo adapter, so you can attach, there's a lot of suppressors out there that have the chemo adapters now that you can use. I personally use dead air, and it attaches, and I actually shot suppressed and it had no problems. I didn't roll footage in it because I'm still unaware. YouTube's still a little funky with certain stuff, and so I didn't actually put that footage in, but I did shoot it with suppressed and it worked just fine. I had no problems with it. The barrel is a 1-in-7 twist, chambered in 5.56, so you can shoot 5.56 and 2.23 out of the barrel. It's a nitride finish and it's 4150 steel. And that's pretty much the outside of the gun. I think I've gone over all the outside. The quality of construction seems really nice. Nothing jumps out at me. Nothing, everything looks top notch. Let's go ahead and take out the bolt carrier grip and take a look at that, because it's something you should always check. So there's the Radiant LT charging handle, Ambi charging handle. And then we have a very dirty, lightweight bolt carrier grip. You can see it has been cut down and shaved down at the back here. And you're just going to check that out. Just look for the gas key staking. The gas key staking looks really good. Everything looks good. There's no blemishes. The bolt has been MPI tested and it is stamped MPI tested. And everything looks good, no complaints. All right, so we're back together. I didn't mention, I forgot, it did come with a PSA magazine. So it does come with the gun. Overall thoughts on the gun. I mean, this thing comes absolutely kitted out from the factory. There's really nothing on here that I would say that needs to be upgraded by any means. I think everything functions great. You've got all those ambi controls. That rifle length buffer system back here really helps smooth out the gun. Also, really nice trigger. You can get up and fast shooting with that. There's a lot to really like on these Saberline guns, and that's why I wanted to get the billet one in to show you this, because I think for the money, and these are going to set you back. I think this particular model was 1100, but the Saberline's anywhere from about 800 to 1200, kind of in that kind of price range. And I think for what you're getting for the money is a fantastic deal. These are absolutely loaded. You don't have to go out and spend a ton more money putting upgrades into something because it's already done. So from my perspective, I think PSA is killing it with this line. They do have a lifetime warranty on all of their products as well, just so you know. So if you have any heavy problems with them, hit them up. They will take care of you. I think that's pretty much it from me. There is a lot of models out here with the billet, but there's a lot of models out for the Saberline. There's the Forge, there's the billet, there's quad rails, there's non-quad rails, there's billet. They have ones that have Geisley rails with FN barrels, or there's just ones with cold hammer forged barrels. There is tons out to meet kind of what you need. So check them out. I'm a fan. This is the second one that I have reviewed. I have no problems with them. I really like them. Again, for the money, I think you're getting you're definitely getting your money's worth, no doubt about it. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna stop talking. All right, folks, that is it for me. If you have any questions, any comments, please ask below. I am always happy to help you out. And that's it. Until next time, I'll catch you later.